Good afternoon. Thank you for attending this update regarding the third homicide of 2016. On Wednesday, January the 20th, at around 6:21 p.m., Alfredo Patriarca arrived at his home located in Etobicoke. He parked his vehicle in his garage. CCTV video in the area captured a lone offender approaching his garage less than a minute after he arrived home. The offender is seen to be entering the garage and exiting approximately 8 seconds later. The suspect approaches in a northeasterly direction towards Mr. Patriarca's home. He then flees, or the suspect then flees in a southwest direction towards the intersection of Princess Margaret Boulevard and the Kingsway. Mr. Patriarca is known as Freddie to his friends and family and was discovered immediately after the defender departed, suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. The purpose of this media release is very focused. In the fact that we're releasing video depicting the offender approaching and leaving the crime scene. We would like the public to view the image captured on video in an effort to identify this unknown person. I would like to caution that the jacket worn by the offender appears to be light or a white color in the video. However, it's my understanding that the jacket can indeed be a darker color. The video system may have manipulated the color, causing it to appear lighter. I'm asking viewers to have a good look at the image and search their memory for anyone seen in the immediate area prior to the incident who matches this suspect's appearance. The suspect may possibly have been loitering alone in the company or in the company of others and may have been observed in the area just prior to Freddie's arrival home, or may even have been observed in days preceding the incident. Anyone with information is asked to call the Homicide Squad or Crime Stoppers. So we'll just have a look at the video now.
Can you walk us through it?
Sure. So you're going to see this vehicle. That's our now deceased Freddie arriving home. He drives his vehicle right into the garage. You'll see a number of cars pass by. I count approximately 7. And then you'll see less than a minute later, the offender will be approaching from the northeast. He goes along the fence line and then cuts through right into the garage. Or she.
Does that person have a weapon in hand?
It would appear that the person has something in their right hand, yes.
So is there an edit there?
No.
You said there was about 8 seconds. But
Yeah. There's about 8 seconds. There were 2 files that were meshed together.
So
the original
it's
file.
not real time.
Right.
That we're watching. Okay.
And it's on a loop. But I can tell you that Mr. Patriarca, Freddie, had arrived home and was home for less than a minute.
And that second car that just came arrived right after.
That's a loop.
That's a loop.
So that's the loop.
Tamara?
Oh, that's him arriving.
It's him continuously arriving. But the vehicles that you see, I understand that it's a busy area, but just off to the left of this screen would be a stop sign. So these vehicles that are passing would have passed our offender.
As he leaves just now, do you know what that light is flashing on the bottom?
I believe it's the garage, maybe opening and closing. I'm not entirely sure.
Was he able to alert someone that he'd been shot?
Well, people did come and render aid immediately after the incident.
Who were inside the home?
There were people inside the home, and there were also Good Samaritans, passerbys.
So his family heard the gunshots?
People did hear gunshots in the area.
What kind of gun was used, do you think?
I'm not going to be disclosing that.
Can you see how many times he was shot?
I'm not going to be disclosing that either.
So was it his family who actually initially found his body in the garage?
Well, yes, it was family members, but I'm not going to mention which family members at this time.
The video itself, is that surveillance from his home, from his own home?
Yeah, the home was equipped with a number of surveillance cameras, but I found that there were, it wasn't exclusive to just this home.
Where this person comes from,
They're coming from the intersection of the Kingsway and Princess Anne Boulevard.
Okay, so he's on Princess Anne. So the person comes in, do they run through the garage to get into the house, or do they run through the front door?
There was no entering the home. The crime scene is exclusive right here to the garage.
Okay, so you believe that someone was literally waiting for him to come home? Just state that?
I do believe that this was targeted, and I do believe that someone was waiting for his arrival home, yes.
Do you have any other video from the area that can tell you whether this person had arrived on foot from a ways away, parked nearby, anything else other than this, this frame we're seeing here?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. That's why we're making this very public appeal to the residents and people in the area. I'd like to hear from them. We have 7 vehicles that drive by at any one given time, just before and after the offender. I'm hoping that maybe this image will resonate with somebody and call Crime Stoppers or the Toronto Police Homicide Squad.
So at this point, we don't know whether he had been in the area for a while, whether he was with anybody else. Those are all questions you need answered.
Those are all possibilities that we need to explore, and I'm asking for the public's assistance, yes.
Any idea on motive?
No, we haven't fleshed out a motive yet.
Did the victim have any kind of ties to organized crime?
As, again, it's a very fluid investigation, and we're open to all possibilities.
Can you confirm that he is the same man who survived the shooting on College Street in 2012 at the Sicilian Sidewalk Cafe?
I believe he was present at the time, as were a number of other patrons at the Sicilian Cafe.
Was he wounded as well during the shooting?
I believe he did suffer a minor injury, yes.
Can you just go over, I mean, the information is out there. We know from other sources that he had mob connections, no matter how loose or tight they may have been, but just tell us how that would play into your investigation and why that isn't what you're talking about today, because you know it's going to be talked about in the media coverage.
I understand that, but again, we haven't ruled anything in, we haven't ruled anything out. It would be very irresponsible of me to stand up here and say, either way conclusively.
Could this homicide be connected in any way with the homicide of Rocco Zito?
No, I don't believe it is.
Any idea on whether, I know we kind of touched on it already, but revenge or finishing the job, is that something that you're possibly looking into?
Again, in order to answer all of those questions, we need to first find out who this offender is. So I imagine that if once we identify this person, motive will be flushed out.
Anything more that you can tell us about the victim?
He was 42 years old at the time of his death. He had a family, small children. That's about as much as I'm prepared to reveal about him.
What he did for a living?
I believe he was self-employed.
And just
No.
sort of going back to the video, you said it does appear that he's carrying a gun, so you believe that what we're seeing in his right hand is...
I said he does appear to be carrying something, and given the 8 seconds, it's pure subjector at this point until we determine, but it does look like to be that there is an object in his right hand.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Was the
inference
victim-
would be that fire.
Was the victim shot in his car, or was he already outside of the vehicle?
Again, I'm not going to get into the exact logistics and dynamics of what happened in the garage. I can tell you that we don't have video inside the garage, and we're asking the public if they could please help us identify anything at all. I mean, if you saw this individual, and again, the caveat is, I know that the jacket appears to be white, but sometimes the pigmentations in a polyester or a man-made product can be manipulated by certain cameras, certain home surveillance video systems. So I don't want people to say, divorce himself of any observations by saying, I didn't see anybody with a white jacket. It could have been a darker color.
The victim was shot in the garage. It's neighbors and passersby who come to his aid, though, and not his family inside the house?
I didn't say that. I said that many people came to his aid.
Okay.
And that's real time that we're seeing, so it's less than a minute, like what is it, like 20 seconds before the shooter comes after he pulls into his garage?
No, it's less than a minute, but more than 30 seconds.
You said he was self-employed. Can you say in what industry?
Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate again because I don't think it's germane to the purpose of this media release. Suffices to say that I'm really hoping that this jogs somebody's memory, and it doesn't have to be immediately preceding, although it happened just after 6:20 p.m. on Wednesday the 20th. Anybody at all loitering in the area, anybody in the days or even weeks preceding that matches this description, I would really appreciate a phone call.
Is it fair to say that whoever shot him would have known quite a bit about him, obviously, where he lives, what car he drives, what his routine is?
Again, I can tell you that moments after he arrives home, the offender approaches. So he's either informed or very lucky.
This guy clearly steps into the snow. Has that helped in the investigation? Were you able to get a footprint?
It was very light snow, and you can see that it was well-traveled, and there's grass, so we're doing the best that we can with forensic, but now we're working on the image.
Judging by the height of the vehicle and comparing him, do you have a height on the suspect at all?
I don't have any of that information. I'm just going on image right now, the image that we captured.
And can't say whether it's male or female?
I can't really say whether it's male or female.
Was the victim known to police?
The victim had contact with the police, but it was very, very dated, years and years and years ago, very minor contact.
Do you know how long he lived in the home?
Not very long from my understanding.
So like weeks, months, years?
No, I'm not going to be getting into that, but it wasn't like decades or anything. Okay? Thank you.
That concludes today's conference. The video will be up on the Toronto Police YouTube page.